I'm tremendously honored to be delivering a health talk this evening and very grateful to be on these lands, the Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam and Squamish traditional territories. And tonight, I'd like to share my hopes for mental health care. And like Dr. Thomas Insel, whose ideas I borrow this evening, I believe our mental health crisis can be solved, especially if we focus more on people, place, and purpose. My hopes for mental health care span a career of 25 years embedded in my own lived experiences of depression in my 20s and almost not making it through university. My memories of not being able to get out of bed, hand in papers, or go to class feel both far away and close, and they serve to remind me of the power of storytelling in the face of stigma. My greatest hope for our mental health system is truly mental health for all. People should not wait years for a diagnosis or for comprehensive care. We can prevent homelessness as a result of severe mental illness. These are equivalent of stage 4 outcomes that we do everything we can do to prevent when it comes to cancer. My friend describes the time I was depressed as the lost year because I would just keep on sleeping. And in many ways I was lost, trying to figure out a new country, being far from home, and my studies. And I remember the world taking on a hue of gray, brown, and everything felt laden, slow, and hard. At the time, I didn't have the words for my experience. I couldn't quite grasp and hold on to what was going on. Everything felt tenuous until a caring professor took me to one side and said, "Are you okay?" The conversations that followed that question were life-changing, ultimately life-saving, and it was the few degrees of shift that helped me find people, place, and purpose on my journey. Drawing from my own lived experience and time in community mental health care, how might I distill hopes for the mental health care system? There's tremendous talent, expertise in BC's system, and we've started to focus more on quality, and we have such an opportunity to leverage this brilliance to ensure we're not waiting until stage 4 when it comes to mental illness. As Dr. Thomas Insel writes, we have effective interventions for every mental illness. We understand that interventions can help people, psychological interventions too. We know that recovery supports can help people who are seeking help in living with mental illness. But there are more than 30,000 involuntary hospitalizations in BC due to mental illness each year. And I worry that we're not getting to people at the right time. When we listen to people with lived experience of acute mental health care, we do hear stories of change and hope. We also hear stories where things have broken down, where people have not had good experiences, where they've experienced restraint and seclusion. And my hopes for mental health care involve a new kind of imagination and commitment that extends beyond acute reduction of symptoms and containing people to a focus on community-led and community-centered mental health care that fosters connection to people, place, and purpose. What would mental health care look like if we more fully embraced a balance and integration between physical and mental health care? Some places use the word parity to describe this balance. Like other countries, what would it look like if we legislated parity in care or found ways to experience the same level of care if you're hearing voices, experiencing heart troubles, or experiencing kidney pain? I often think of this as equal footing, where mental health care is given equal priority to physical health. This means if you're hearing voices, there's equal attention paid to your oral care. If you're navigating cancer treatment, there's equal attention paid to your mood and anxiety. What might be possible in healthcare and for people with a more equal footing? One way to step towards a more equal footing is to relieve pressure on an overburdened health system. And you're looking at leaders with the Victoria Community-Led Crisis Team in Victoria, also known as PACT. This team pairs an experiential crisis responder with a clinician, and they go out to a full range of crises in the Victoria community. This is one of 3 teams, soon to be expanded to 6, that have taken almost 5,000 calls to date, and the need for a police response has been avoided 99% of the time. Rooted in community, delivered by community, these teams hold space, they hold time, they connect, and they follow up and help people to connect to their natural supports. PACT centers right care, right person, with a commitment to sending mental health professionals to mental health emergencies, and this model is striving to reduce ER visits and hospitalizations whilst reversing perceptions that people in distress are dangerous. My hopes for the mental health system are pinned on a reimagining of how we provide care in ways that center the health and the wholeness of the affected person, their family, and community. And at the heart of this work is an unwavering commitment to dignity and human rights to transform those health outcomes. When I think back to my own journey with depression, there are times where I felt incredibly isolated and alone. I was convinced I was the only person that knew what I was going through, and that no one else would be able to comprehend my experience. One of the beautiful things about community-led crisis care is the way in which connection and feeling can all help with a journey towards someone's sense of purpose and connection to place and people. As I near the end of my health talk, I want to explain what I mean by purpose, place, and people. While we have lots of effective interventions, the 3 Ps don't always feature as part of the care we provide to people with severe mental illness. When we think about the spark of purpose, it's about having a reason to be, having something to care about and something to wake up for. When it comes to place, it's about housing and a place to call home. We know that's incredibly difficult to maintain good mental health if we don't have access to safe, secure, and warm shelter. And finally, people. Remember my friend who commented on the lost year of Jonny and the caring professor who pulled me aside to ask, "Are you okay?" These people were my support and were so important on my journey. Gosh, 6 minutes flies fast, eh? As you leave tonight and think about all of these fantastic health talks, I invite you to reflect upon the people in your life. Are you worried about someone? Is there someone you're thinking about approaching to express care? You might start a life-changing conversation if you do. Thank you.